Let's get to Bert in Baton Rouge here, who has reaction last night after the Tigers capture their 4th national championship. Bert, on your way into work, you still celebrating? What's the deal?
Good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, I'm on my way to work, but
Nice.
I won't stop celebrating until kickoff next year.
Yeah, for real, though. Bert, you nailed it.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. How great it is to be national champions again. Just 2 quick thoughts, if you will. With the slow start on the offense and the defense really coming to their own in the game, how nice was it to be able to lean on Clyde to solidify that game? And we really did. That fourth quarter, as long as that game was, that fourth quarter wasn't terribly long. We were able to actually milk some clock, which is so unusual for us to do. And that's just so nice. With the game solidified, getting out of there, just taking the knee on the 4-yard line, how great does that feel?
I kind of wanted him to get more points.
So I will say this, though.
I'm sorry. I wanted it to look a little bit – I just wanted to blow him out.
What Bert brings up is an important point, right, Bert? Because you said, it's rare this year that we've seen LSU milk clock. But the interesting thing about that is it's not that they can't milk clock. It's that they have chosen not to. And so the fact that when they wanted to, they suddenly could, to me – that represents what has made this LSU offense so spectacular this year. They're like the Blob, right? It doesn't matter what the situation calls for. They can adapt to whatever that situation, whatever they need to do, they have been able to do. And so, you want to run clock at the end of the game, all of a sudden Clyde Edwards-Helaire and the offensive line is putting it on him. You're able to wait a little bit. You don't have to play high tempo. This LSU offense is the greatest offense I've ever seen in my life.
When you think about it last night, and you think about that Clemson defense, and I thought Venables had a great plan. There was a lot of pre-snap looks. I sat in the end zone last night, which is a really cool place to watch the game because you can see the plays develop. And a lot of times, there were wide open spaces pre-snap on Clemson's defense. And once the snap came off, Venables had guys covering ground, and it looked like for about a quarter and a half, Joe was really trying to figure it out. Just where was it coming from? What was going on in the secondary?
And even more, and Joe was, I think they did a good job of confusing Burrow at times, which is impossible. But even more than that, they got what Venables did, and it's a credit to him, he managed to confuse the offensive line where he wasn't having to commit numbers, but the stunts were still getting home. And so it became, that's absolutely how you stop an elite offense. He's able to keep guys in coverage while simultaneously pressuring the quarterback. And that, to me, is the biggest difference between the first quarter and the second quarter. That offensive line proved why they are the Joe Moore winners. Because what did you see every time last night it mattered, Jordy? LSU was in empty.
Yeah.
They were in empty. They were saying, okay, O-line, Cushenberry, Lewis, McGee, Ingram, Deculus, Charles, you're going to have to win this game for us. They went empty. They trusted in their O-line, and they fought through some initial struggles. And when they really started to protect in that second quarter, and then the scoring followed.
To the phone lines. Let's go back to him. Tommy in Baton Rouge. Tommy, how are you?
Look, guys, good morning. We're on our way to drop the boys off at school this morning, and we just couldn't be any more pumped for LSU. I was really glad I got to, see this national championship and get to enjoy it with my 3 boys. It really means a lot to me. So,
I agree, Tommy. I was right there with you. Thanks for the call this morning. I was in the stadium last night with Jordan. Jordan and I.
Jordan was at the game last night.
We had done some pretty cool sporting events together, and they haven't all worked out, but we have we've had some cool events as far as going to some baseball playoff games. We went to the NFC Championship, but last night
the Astros,
like Tommy talked about, to have that experience with a son, a dad, a brother, somebody that means something to you in the state of Louisiana as an LSU fan, it's really cool. From Tommy and Baton Rouge.
But real quick, to me, we all draw from our own experience. I remember 2003.
Yeah, me too.
As a kid, right? And being an LSU fan, names like Chad Lavallee, they are like burned. Corey Webster, these names,
Michael
Jack
Clayton,
Hunt,
Marcus Spears.
These names are burned into my mind, and I just can't imagine. Or I guess I can because I experienced it. It's just great to know that next generation of Louisiana kids is now being imprinted on in the same way by this special team.
Last night we were standing, like I said, we were sitting in the end zone, and we had, the Jumbotron is right in our face, and we were standing up the majority of the game. and Jay's sitting there imitating Burrow. Like he'll like on the run pass option, like he'll sit up there and kind of like fake it, like throw like he's playing the slant and like do the Superman stuff. I mean, like he's sitting up there like watching a game like we all were when you were 9, 10.
I mean, I remember exactly where I was for 03, 01, like all of it.
All right, Cliff in Houston. Good morning, Cliff.
Good morning. Hey, man, let me tell you, and it's one of the things I want to say, most importantly, I was in the stadium when we won against Ohio State. I was in the stadium and lost to Bama.
Yeah.
And as a fan that has been there as a little boy through, Charlie Mack and everything, waiting so long, we finally got it. And then to have to really hear for the last 8 years after Saban left and made Bama this, and then all these Bama fans who come from out of the woodwork who just, I can't even talk about them. So,
I feel you, Cliff. I know, dude. I'm right there with you.
Oh, it's just right. So, to get over that hump. But my main thing, and see, Bob, you can speak to this too, when all the naysayers, if you weren't on board with Ed Orgeron when you first got hired,
tough stance now.
I was pounding the table for don't come forward now and pat him on the back, man, because for somebody who grew up in South Baton Rouge, I could hear the stadium roar when I was a little boy.
Wow.
Went to Catholic High. I'm in Houston now, but it just means a whole lot more for someone like Ed from our state.
Yep.
To do it and do it in that grand of fashion. And like I said, man, for the naysayers, and I'm not going to call them nega tigers, but the ones that
they're dead.
On board. If you weren't on board with Ed when he first got here, man, I don't want to hear your mouth.
That's right.
You play the background, play the background and cheer, but don't be up on the table like you were there from day one because you weren't.
Talking to you, Lady Moscona.
Okay, Cliff, thank you so much. And Cliff, I think you're right about a couple things, man. And it was really funny. I saw a lot of my old teammates at the game last night and around, and like, it sounds so stupid. I've not played football there in 8 years, but this really meant something to us.
Yeah,
like this felt,
that does not sound stupid.
It felt cathartic, like legitimately. And it feels like, and I'm not exaggerating or doing a radio bit when I say this. It really feels like personal demons have been exercised. And you saw Jarvis Landry talking about it. The pain of the past, it's been erased. And so Cliff's absolutely right there. The only thing I'll say is, look, if you weren't on board with the Orgeron hire in the first place, I get it. Because initially it was a controversial hire. And if you supported it, great. If you didn't, whatever. The only people I have problem with are the people who try to ignore the evidence in front of their face. The people who tried to ignore...
Still calling him dumb?
Well, the ones who tried to ignore like an improving football program last year and that things were trending in the right direction. And they're like, oh, we'll just wait till Bama this year. And you kept moving the goalposts. Those are the people I ain't got time for. But guess what? There's none of those people left. Like the Order of the Nega Tiger is officially dead. It's done. It's over. And LSU has ascended once again.
All right, Jim and Natchitoches, final call of this segment. Jim, good morning.
Good morning. Best team ever to play. Couldn't sleep last night, so I went and I researched the final record of LSU's opponents. They won 60% of their games this year.
Wow.
And if you take away the 15 losses that the number one national championship team put on them, that percentage goes up to 65%.
What? Wow. What? Jim, that is crazy.
I'm telling you, Jim, you can take the bias out of it. They're the best college football team of all time.
And and that's with a couple of 3-9s and a 2-10 team.
Wow.
I mean,
I'm talking to you.
Wait, who are you about to call out there? Who are you talking to?
Oh, I was going to call out my friends in Natchitoches.
Have a good one, Jim. Enjoy the celebration, man.
Always do, guys. Thank y'all.
Junior of the senior inside the huddle, driven by the Bayou Ford Group. Man, I'm going to miss Joe. Damn right you are, man.
Well, I mean,
he's the best
He's
ever.
the GOAT, dude. 60 touchdowns thrown for. What was the total? 65, I think, accounted 65. For. Which
all records
breaks all the records.
All right, let's get to the phone lines. They're open.
60
Eric in Baton Rouge. Good morning, Eric.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up? Hey, by the way, you guys, you have a huge part in this national championship. You know, always being positive about the team, rallying the troops, Song of Purple and Gold, speaking at the men's club. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for the fun season that you helped illustrate every morning.
Very kind, man. It's very kind.
Rivers and Nate behind the scenes, making things work.
I agree.
And,
the best producers in the game, right there, Rivers and Nathan.
I got two things to say, and I'll hang up and hopefully go back to sleep. One, it's a crime against humanity that I actually have to go to work right now.
I know.
And
Thoughts and prayers.
There's like 80. I'm pretty sure like 95% of Baton Rouge's heads right now are as foggy as the weather.
Oh, maybe worse.
I need some of that T-Bob coffee right now.
Hey, it's an Irish bean from the Gaelic region, okay? It's a delicious bean.
Eric, enjoy work, man. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to Jerry in Cutoff.
This is what we need to hear from.
Jerry, this is where we need to be, man. How's the motherland? How is it down there?
Hey, T-Bob, what's going on, my man?
Jerry, what's happening?
T-Bob, man, I tell you, this place, Lafourche Parish and South Lafourche are just so proud of our boy, Coach O. And, you know, man, I've been tailgating right next to you for years and years, and we're excited, man. I tell you what, this bayou will never be the same.
Never the same?
Be the same.
Jerry, tell me about what it's like for a hometown son in Ogeron to bring home a championship to the state, not only the state, to South Louisiana, and you guys specifically.
Well, look, I can tell you, I've been a parish councilman in Lafourche Parish for the last 8 years. I decided not to run this year. And what he's brought to Lafourche Parish and the pride in our community is unbelievable. Yesterday, all the schools in the southern part of the parish had Coach O'Day. Everybody dressed up. They had LSU Tigers. If you go look at the Lafourche Gazette website, our local paper, you'll see they have pictures of the schools. Even South Lafourche's home school. All the students got around in the middle of the football field, made a big O around the South Lafourche emblem.
How cool is that?
Dude. Let's go.
And they took an emblem. You know, one of the even the elementary schools. They took an aerial site photos, and it said, "We love LSU," with the students spelled out. It's incredible, man. I can tell you what. Saturday, I think there's a parade in Baton Rouge. I'm going to imagine that the last person leaving Cutoff coming to Baton Rouge is going to turn the lights.
Hit the lights.
Hell
yeah! Hell yeah, Jerry.
Look, man, we call it, y'all call it the goosebumps, but we call it the frissons. And
the frissons. Oh my God, I've not heard that in a long time.
Since last night, and Bobby, you know your dad. I can't wait to hear him on the radio today. And
I talked to him last night. He was on the verge of tears last night for his boy.
Oh, look, I got tears right now just speaking to you guys about it. It's just so good for our community. Not only Lafourche Parish, the whole state of Louisiana.
Yep.
It's unbelievable the atmosphere around here. And when you hear the national news, yesterday I watched a little thing on Colin Cowtherd, I call him, on his 5 reasons why LSU wasn't going to win the game. And you know, one of them was that Coach O's never been to a national championship. That's his 5th one he won.
5th. Yeah.
Yeah, he has 5 rings. He got 1 for the thumb.
Remember, that's the same guy that had Urban Meyer on and asking him why Joe Burrow didn't go to Ohio State.
Jerry, we're up against the end of the hour, man. Thank you for calling in, though. Thank you for the perspective. You're the man. Go Tigers. Go Cutoff. I love it.
Thank y'all, man. Let's go Tigers.
Absolutely. And look, Jerry brings up a great point. And we got callers that will carry over to the top of the 8 o'clock hour. We got your mailbag questions coming up at 8:15. It's all good.
I do appreciate your concern, though.
Thank you, Everett.
You scared everybody to death. So
look, I gave y'all a pass today. You won a national championship last night.
Real quick, Jerry brings up a good point that I think maybe go unforeseen here, because everything that Ogeron has done for the LSU football program, LSU, the feeling around the school and the football, but more it's around the state. Remember how divided the state was as far as football recruiting went when Ogeron took over. think about being a student athlete right now and thinking about going anywhere but LSU if you're a top-tier football player right now, and not how only that would go over with Ogeron and the staff, but listen to Jerry, how that's going to go over in your community with the people and how he's galvanized and brought everybody together around the program. It's incredible,
the Swamp
man.
King has united us.
Amazing. All right, Henry's doing a good man's work. He's a Tiger fan over in Alabama. He's in Huntsville, boy.
So happy for all y'all.
Hank is checking in this morning. Henry from the Lost Highway. How are you, man? Henry, turn your radio down and talk to us.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We got you.
How are you, Hank?
Hey. Sorry about that. I was dropping my kid off. Hey,
Nah, I get it, bro.
It's all good, bro.
Let me tell you, I live in the heart of Bama country,
Oof.
and it's been a hard 8 years.
It has.
Got to be a little sweet this morning dropping the kids off, though.
Yeah, well, let me tell you.
You hit them with a Go Tigers on the way out?
So my son, I dropped him off. He has on his LSU sweatshirt. My older son got the jersey hoodie, and he's wearing his LSU jersey hoodie to school to rub it in his teacher's face.
Let's go.
It's been a long 8 years, but all I've heard was Go Tigers.
Yep.
For the last 2 or 3 weeks. I even had a gentleman yesterday saw my LSU jacket and said, "What's a loser tiger?" I said, "You can't read? That says elephant killer."
Henry, it's good days to be an LSU fan, man. Thanks for checking in from Alabama.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let's go Tigers.
From Huntsville, we go to Baton Rouge. Big Jeff, good morning. Big Jeff.
How are you guys doing this morning?
Our guy, Big Jeff. What's up,
hey,
bro?
Hey, man. I just wanted to say that I'm genuinely happy for the LSU program. And just a real quick story. I moved down here in 2010 from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And I did not know a soul down here. And I've just been embraced by the Louisiana folks. I met so many great people down here, including you good folks there. And I'm just so genuinely happy for not only LSU, but, the football team and the state. And I really appreciate Ed Ogeron bringing that family aspect to the whole thing. And just proud. You guys have been a big part of my mornings down here. And just very proud of the team. And I'm very proud of you guys. And just love you and hope you have a good day. Go Tigers.
Love you, Big Jeff. Thanks for checking in.
The feeling is mutual. And your boy, Foster Morrow, Jeff's a big Raiders fan. He looked great in the leather jacket last night. But thank you, Big Jeff. We love you, too.
Back down to South Louisiana, the home of Ed Ogeron. Brendan in Cutoff. Brendan, good morning.
Keep on, where you at?
Yeah!
Woo! Baby!
What's that, Brendan?
It's national champs.
That's it, bro. For the Bayou.
All love down here, baby. We live. Y'all have a good day.
Oh, yeah. Brendan hung on for 20 minutes. That's so good. That is awesome. From Brendan and Cutoff, we go to Mark in Baton Rouge. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Great to hear you guys. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to remind everyone that this is also the start of the team that dethroned the self-appointed UCF team as well last year. So we've knocked out 2 national champions in 1 year. Go Tigers!
So he actually raises a really good point, Jordy, and we talked about this a lot last year, right? Which is some people, some people were upset by some things that happened last year. 10-3 wasn't good enough. It was UCF, whatever. But what did we say, right? The spaceship isn't built in a day. You got to have a space program. You want to get to the moon, you got to earn it. Last year, even with the ups and downs, and the offense wasn't as good and all this other stuff, but last year laid the groundwork for this year. Make no mistake. Make no mistake, last year laid the groundwork for this year. You saw things moving in the right direction, and now here you sit, 15-0 national champs.